Brad!
In the world of Hollywood, where celebrity relationships are always in the spotlight, the new couple making waves is Brad Pitt and Ines de Ramon. Recently, they turned heads with a public appearance at the prestigious Silverstone Circuit in Northampton, solidifying their romance and sparking widespread interest in Pitt's latest partner. But could she be next in line to be dumped by him?
It just bothers me because my parents were in this business. When my father cheated on my mother, she had to deal with tabloids. I know how much it is. That there's just like they just throw anything out, and they just really don't think about somebody's 7-year-old kid walking by and looking at it.
Ines de Ramon is no stranger to the limelight herself. A polyglot fluent in English, Spanish, French, and German, she graduated from the University of Geneva in 2013 with a degree in business administration. Her career has centered around the realms of jewelry and fashion, including notable roles at Christie's and De Grisogano. Currently, she holds the position of vice president at Anita Co., a prominent jewelry brand based in Los Angeles. Beyond her professional endeavors, de Ramon is also deeply invested in wellness, holding certification as a health coach in integrative nutrition. Prior to her relationship with Brad Pitt, she was married to actor Paul Wesley, best known for his role in The Vampire Diaries. The couple wed in 2019 and maintained a private life together until announcing their amicable separation in late 2022. De Ramon and Pitt first caught public attention together in November 2022, attending a Bono concert in Los Angeles. Since then, they've been spotted enjoying a getaway to Cabo in 2023, culminating in their recent high-profile outing at Silverstone. However, it isn't all plain sailing for Brad, as the ghosts of his past continue to haunt him.
I don't want to say very much about that, except to say it was a very difficult. Many people find themselves in this situation, and these kind of, my family, we've all been through a difficult time, and it's not.
1 month after Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's 18-year-old daughter Shiloh filed to remove Pitt from her surname, a source close to the family tells people that the actor has virtually no contact with his adult children, but still sees his younger children.
I mean, certainly for me, what I realized was I was running to things to avoid tough feelings, painful feelings.
He has virtually no contact with the adult kids. His engagement with the younger kids is more limited in recent months because of his filming schedule, the source says. Pitt is currently on location in Europe filming his upcoming racing movie F1. Jolie, 48, and Pitt, 60, have 6 children. Maddox, 22, Zahara, 19, Shiloh, Pax, 20, and twins Knox and Vivian, 15. The source also mentions that the couple's custody agreement includes visitation rights for their minor children. Angelina has the kids most of the time, but per their agreement, he has visitation with the younger kids. A source close to Pitt recently told people that the father of 6 is aware and upset about Shiloh's name change. He's aware and upset that Shiloh dropped his last name, the source said in June. The reminders that he's lost his children is of course not easy for Brad. He loves his children and misses them. It's very sad, added the insider. He's still happy with Ines de Ramon, the source added, but the distance from his children pains him. He still loves all of his kids tremendously, another close friend of Pitt told People. This whole process has been very hard for the whole family. According to someone familiar with the situation, Shiloh's documents were filed on Monday, May 27th, which also happened to be her 18th birthday. The teen wants to change her legal name to Shiloh Jolie. Shiloh isn't the only Jolie Pitt child who appears to have a different name. According to People, the teenager is listed as Vivian Jolie rather than Vivian Jolie Pitt on the playbill for the new musical The Outsiders, which their daughter Vivienne assisted Mother Jolie in producing. At this time, it is unclear whether Vivienne has also legally changed her name. Although we gotta say, it shouldn't be all that surprising considering Brad and Angelina's history if she has. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie married on August 14, 2014, in a quiet ceremony at the chapel at Chateau Miraval, their French winery. Just over 2 years later, on a private flight from Miraval to Los Angeles, Pitt allegedly had a physical altercation with Jolie in front of their 6 children, forcing her to file for divorce. 8 years later, the divorce is still not final. Marriages between high-profile and ultra-high net worth persons can take time to relax. There are typically shared businesses, multiple real estate interests, and Swiss bank accounts to divide. By these criteria, the Brangelina divorce has been a marathon. For years, Pitt and Jolie have fought over custody, real estate, and of course, Chateau Miraval, frequently leaking their wins to the tabloids. What's the end game? Why is it taking so long to get there? One of the main reasons this case has taken so long is that Jolie and Pitt are already divorced. In 2019, a judge ruled the two legally single in a bifurcated ruling, which means they can marry other people while still arguing about their finances, custody, and other divorce-related issues. Couples in California can receive a bifurcated divorce for nearly any cause, which removes some of the drive to finish things on time, according to Sophie Jacobi Parisi, a partner in Blank Rome's matrimonial and family law practice who is not involved in the case. I feel like there are a lot of divorces I would never have gotten done without that incentive, she adds, noting that she operates in New York and Connecticut, where divided judgments are generally prohibited. Pitt, for example, could marry his alleged 30-something girlfriend, Ines de Ramon, and continue fighting over Miraval for years to come. Another odd aspect of this case is Los Angeles Judge John W. Uderkirk, a retired judge who Jolie and Pitt recruited, presumably at a high cost, to rule on custody of the couple's 6 children. In 2021, Uderkirk concluded that Jolie and Pitt should share custody 50-50. Jolie then successfully appealed against the judge's judgment, and the Second District Court of Appeals found that Uderkirk should be disqualified for failing to disclose his financial contacts with Pitt's counsel. Jolie said that the court was biased and would not allow her children to speak about the domestic violence they reportedly experienced from Pitt. Pitt and Jolie were virtually forced to restart the custody case from scratch when Uderkirk was disqualified and his verdict was overturned. The procedure throughout this case is part of the reason why it's been going on for so long, because going up and down on appeal and getting things set aside takes a long time, said Kara Kroback, a shareholder in Buchalter Law Firm's Denver office and a member of the firm's family law group who is also not involved in the case. Hiring a private judge and then having his findings overturned is not common at all, she explained. Another reason the divorce has continued is because neither party has been ready to compromise on custody. Since filing for divorce in 2016, Jolie has claimed that Pitt was abusive to her and the children on the private aircraft from France to California, and that she parted from him to safeguard their health and safety. As a result, her attorneys have claimed that she should have complete custody, whilst Pitt has advocated for partial custody. Because the paperwork relating to the custody case are sealed, the only information we have about the decisions is what both sides have leaked to the media. However, the process has lasted long enough that the majority of the Jolie-Pitt children are now old enough to choose which parent they want to live with and spend time with. When you have teenage children, especially when you get to the age that they can drive, they're sufficiently mature to really make their own choices with respect to who they want to be spending time with, according to Kroback. It's very common that once kids reach driving ages, there are not going to be significant custody fights because the kids are going to do what they want to do anyway. This appears to be the case for Jolie and Pitt. In March, a source close to Pitt informed Us Weekly that Jolie had been granted primary custody of the couple's minor children. Pitt isn't thrilled with the choice, according to the source, but he's not fighting it. He wishes his relationship with the kids was stronger and wants to work on that. It's been very stressful for him to have to defend himself over and over again, another source close to Pitt told People. But since things don't seem to change, he's trying to move on with his life. According to People, Vivian, who is named as a producer on the Broadway rendition of The Outsiders, is referred to as Vivian Jolie on the musical's playbill. In a sorority initiation film, their 19-year-old daughter, Zahara, too used just Jolie as her surname. Meanwhile, Jolie continues to campaign for changes to the family court system as a result of her experience. In the fall, she allegedly wrote to California Governor Gavin Newsom, urging him to endorse Piquet's law, which would compel judges to get domestic abuse training. This is personal for her, and for good reason, a source close to Jolie told the New York Post at the time. Look at what she faced from a biased judge who was removed by the appellate court for his corrupt and secretive financial dealings with Brad Pitt's team that violated judicial ethics in her family's case, and who refused to review evidence of domestic abuse. It's no surprise she has taken on this specific issue. Their whole family is a victim of system failure. She has been fighting privately for her family and publicly for other families for years. Jolie and Pitt's fight over the sale of Chateau Miraval is technically a distinct case, but it has been inextricably linked to the emotional concerns that led to their divorce. Divorcing spouses typically prefer to address issues relating to shared enterprises as swiftly and quietly as possible, according to Kroback, in order to keep those firms valuable for both parties. This has not been the case with Jolie and Pitt. It seems like they're using the business dispute as a way to disseminate to the public certain aspects of their divorce to get what they each perceive to be a leg up on the divorce case, according to her. This is unique. Initially, Jolie and Pitt agreed that she would sell her Miraval interests to Pitt. However, she claims Pitt urged her to sign a onerous NDA as part of the transaction, covering Pitt's personal misconduct, whether related to Miraval or not. She believes Pitt tried to silence her about the assault allegations, and his request caused the arrangement to fall through. Jolie then sold her shareholding to Tenute Del Mondo, a Stoli affiliate, in 2021. Pitt has filed a lawsuit to halt the transaction, claiming Jolie vindictively sold to Tenute Del Mondo after Judge Uterkirk ordered the ex-couple should share custody of the children. The matter is ongoing, with the next hearing set for May 16th. Pitt's attorneys have asked Jolie to provide other NDAs she has signed in order to demonstrate that Pitt's request was not unusual. Jolie's attorneys say that the request is irrelevant to the lawsuit. Forcing Jolie to spend the time and expense of gathering and producing all of this documentation is expensive, wasteful, and unreasonable, and the latest manifestation of Pitt's abusive conduct toward Jolie. The court should not allow it, the attorneys said in a filing last month. Perhaps you're wondering how much all of this costs these people. The answer is too much. I'm totally speculating, but what we know is that they had a private judge who did a whole custody trial, Jacoby Parisi added, totaling up the different expenses. They've had multiple experts related to the custody case. They've had multiple lawyers. I think each of them has had at least 2 to 3, maybe more lawyers. And every time you change lawyers, it increases the cost. And then this whole Miraval filing is an added cost. I think all in, it's probably between $8 and $10 million, she reported. Kroback estimated even higher, putting the overall cost in the tens of millions. This shouldn't be surprising considering Brad Pitt actually has a history of controversy. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's relationship sparked controversy when they met on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, while Brad was still married to Jennifer Aniston. Brad and Jennifer announced their divorce in January 2005, and just 4 months later, Brad was spotted with Angelina on an African beach. In 2006, Angelina clarified to Vogue magazine that their romantic involvement began only after Brad and Jennifer separated. In interviews from 2008, both Brad and Angelina seemed to confirm that they developed feelings for each other while filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which hit theaters in June 2005. During this time, allegations of sexual harassment surfaced against movie mogul Harvey Weinstein, including claims from Brad's former co-star, Gwyneth Paltrow, whom he had cast in Emma. Reports suggested Gwyneth had a negative experience with Weinstein, prompting Brad to reportedly threaten Weinstein to stay away from her, warning him, "If you ever make her feel uncomfortable again, I'll kill you." However, despite these claims, Brad faced criticism for continuing to collaborate with Weinstein, despite knowledge of his alleged predatory behavior. Angelina also recounted an incident where Weinstein made advances towards her during the making of the 1998 film Playing by Heart. Brad later worked with Weinstein on Inglourious Bastards, 2009, and Killing Them Softly, 2012, though he did not publicly address Weinstein's scandal. Even his and Angelina's relationship timeline is something to behold. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie first met while filming the spy thriller Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where they played married assassins. At the time, Brad was married to Jennifer Aniston, and Angelina had recently separated from her ex-husband, Billy Bob Thornton. In a January 2007 interview with Vogue, Jolie reflected, "I didn't know much about exactly where Brad was in his personal life, but it was clear he was with his best friend, someone he loves and respects." Throughout the filming, Brad and Angelina remained friends. On January 7, 2005, Brad and Jennifer announced their separation. In a joint statement to People, they said, "After 7 years together, we have decided to formally separate. For those who follow these sorts of things, we would like to explain that our separation is not the result of any speculation reported by the tabloid media. This decision is the result of much thoughtful consideration." Jennifer filed for divorce in March, and it was finalized on October 2nd. In the summer of 2005, Angelina traveled to Ethiopia to adopt her daughter, Zahara Marley. She had already adopted her first son, Maddox, from Cambodia in 2002. At the time, she shared with People that she and Maddox were happy to have a new addition to our family. Brad accompanied Angelina to Ethiopia. A source close to Jolie told People, "Angie's over the moon. It's a dream come true. She's always wanted to extend her family." By January 2006, Brad took a significant step in adopting Angelina's 2 children, Maddox and Zahara. A Los Angeles judge approved their name change petition, legally changing the children's last names to Jolie Pitt. A friend of the couple shared with People, "It's the idea that you love one another and you want to create a family together. What's beautiful is you can do it by birth or by adoption." Brad and Angelina welcomed their first child together, a daughter named Shiloh Nouvelle, on May 27, 2006. Shiloh was born at Cottage Hospital in Swakopmund, Namibia. The name Shiloh is biblical and translates to the peaceful one. The news of Angelina's pregnancy was confirmed on January 11, 2006, and she first revealed it at a charity center in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. In a 2006 Esquire interview, Brad shared that he and Angelina would consider marriage once all couples could legally marry. He said, "Angie and I will consider tying the knot when everyone else in the country who wants to be married is legally able." He also talked about their growing family, including newborn Shiloh, and the adoption process for Maddox and Zahara, emphasizing, "They're as much of my blood as any natural born, and I'm theirs." Brad and Angelina made their red carpet debut as a couple at the New York City premiere of The Good Shepherd. In Vogue's January 2007 issue, Angelina spoke candidly about their relationship. She recalled realizing their connection towards the end of filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith, understanding that it required serious consideration. She shared a defining moment when Maddox called Brad Dad, which helped solidify their bond as a family. Angelina adopted 3-year-old Pax Thien from Vietnam in March 2007. Brad was not present due to work commitments, and Angelina's name was the only one on the adoption application since they weren't married, making it easier under Vietnamese law. In February 2008, Pax's last name was legally changed to Jolie Pitt. At the 2008 Film Independent Spirit Awards, Angelina revealed her pregnancy by showing off her baby bump while walking the red carpet with Brad. With 4 children and 2 more on the way, Brad and Angelina rented Chateau Miraval, an 880-acre estate in France. The property, valued at $70 million, came with a vineyard, olive groves, and more. Angelina mentioned that French was a second language in their home and considered giving birth to the twins in France. They officially purchased the property in 2012 and started Miraval Wines. In Vanity Fair's July 2008 issue, Angelina shared that their humanitarian and philanthropic efforts brought them closer. She noted that while Brad wasn't as publicly active, he was very aware, curious, and compassionate. Their shared goals of helping orphans and supporting children's rights united them and strengthened their relationship. In 2008, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's journey saw significant milestones. At the Independent Spirit Awards in February, Jolie revealed her pregnancy. By May, with 4 children and twins on the way, the couple leased Chateau Miraval, an expansive estate in France, eventually purchasing it in 2012 and starting Miraval Wines. Jolie noted in Vanity Fair that their shared humanitarian and philanthropic efforts strengthened their relationship, despite different focuses. Pitt on environmental issues and Jolie on refugees. In July, Jolie gave birth to twins, Knox Léon and Vivienne Marceline in Nice, France. She described their home life as chaotic yet fulfilling, with their older children helping care for the newborns. By 2010, Jolie explained in a Parade interview that the couple managed their busy schedules by never working simultaneously, ensuring one was always with their children. In 2012, under pressure from their kids, Pitt and Jolie got engaged, and by August 2014, they married in an intimate ceremony at Chateau Miraval. Their wedding involved their children, who played significant roles in the ceremony. During their honeymoon in Malta, they filmed By the Sea, a project Jolie wrote and directed. However, in September 2016, Jolie filed for divorce from Pitt, and the rest is history. That's all for the video, folks. Thanks for watching.